an inside scoop and perspective of Golden Eagle hoops. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Golden Eagles, Connor Clark.
Well, welcome into episode number 1 of a brand new season of the ORU Basketball Coaches Show. Connor Clark here with you, and we are joined to kick things off here in 2025-26 with a brand new women's head basketball coach, Sophie Anderson. Coach, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the time. Excited to be able to talk hoops not only today but throughout the season, so it should be a lot of fun. And we'll kick things off here, but I want to talk not basketball for just one second. What was the best thing you did non-basketball-wise, would you say, over the offseason?
Oh, I guess going to the lake and hanging out with the girls. We went to one of our managers' lake houses this summer, and it was just nice to see them in a different environment, see them just be themselves, joking around, eating some good barbecue, and just being by the water. So it was just nice to relax and beautiful views. And so, yeah, I guess the lake house. Everyone loves a lake house, right?
I mean, that's a great answer.
Yeah,
you can't really go wrong with that, especially in the summer.
Right.
I mean, I'm just glad that it's not 95 degrees out every single day.
I know. I miss the 95 degrees, though.
Really?
Yes.
I
like the warm weather.
I don't want to step outside, though, and start sweating immediately when I step outside.
Fair.
But that's just me.
That's fair.
I mean, I know it varies, but I would wish for a little bit more sun. It's a little cloudy out today, a little rainy.
Yeah, I agree. I do love fall, though.
Yes.
Fall, you can do the layers. It's not too cold, not too hot. So I do love fall.
You get all the holidays get rolling, too, as well. So
absolutely.
We'll get things going here, and this is going to be the first of many episodes this season. We'll have you on. We'll obviously have Coach Barnett on later as well. But you guys played your first exhibition game on Saturday,
we
and
did.
I know that when you talk exhibition games, you don't want to put too much weight on it. You don't really know, at least from a media perspective, what you want to pull away from it, what you can really use going forward. But as a coach, I mean, I'm sure it's a great opportunity to, A, obviously play as many people as you'd like, and B,
Absolutely.
play some lineups that maybe you normally wouldn't play during the regular season just to see how that meshed. What is your overall assessment of how your team performed last Saturday?
Well, I'm glad that we performed better than our scrimmage. And that's what I want to see from our team is the growth every single game, getting better and better. But what I loved, hats off to USAO. They did a great job. They ran some great stuff offensively, and it allowed us to see some things that we don't see within our offense, which are a lot of screens. So we've had to kind of go over that and prepare our girls, and our staff has done a tremendous job preparing our girls for things that we don't see day in and day out because we don't set screens within our offense. So it was nice, one, to get film against a good opponent, and so that we can grow on the defensive end on how to cover screens. What does help side look like? Being a little bit more active. Away from the basketball, things like that. And it's, yes, you can simulate it, you can drill it, you can put them in that position, but getting it live in front of the lights, in front of fans, it's just a different experience. So it was great for us. I'm extremely happy that we got the win, but at the same time, more importantly, got film so that we can grow. And like you said, different lineups, people getting on the floor, and a lot of firsts for myself, but a lot of firsts for our team as well. And we get those firsts out of the way, and they just become normal. And that's what I'm excited for this team.
Now, I think the kind of overall storyline of your guys' group as a whole is really unique because it feels new, but it also feels familiar. And we'll start with the coaching staff because that's the familiar part of it. It's very rare when you take over a new head coaching position, but you essentially have zero turnover. You have one brand new coach in Paris Watkins, but everybody else stays the same. How important has that been for you just in a transitional period from associate head coach to actual head coach to have all those familiar faces around you?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be as comfortable as I am or as prepared as I am without them, to be completely honest. They've been just a pillar for me in every aspect. And the other side of it, too, we all know ORU. So like you said, Coach Watkins is the only new face that doesn't really know ORU or, you know, just how we've done things here. But it has been great. Just a relief to just be able to move forward and just continue trudging along and just getting better. But us knowing ORU, how things work, what we stand for, our excellence, and the things that we've set and the foundation that we've set, we've all been a part of that. So we're just trying to continue on. But most importantly, we know the conference.
Right.
You know, we know what the travel schedule looks like. We know what the, you know, kind of the long basketball season feels like. And that's half the battle is knowing, and I think that's what we're going to have to kind of just get our young ones to understand. And it's going to take some time. It's going to be some ups and downs because they just have to know and they don't know yet, and I think honestly that's going to be a blessing all at the same time.
You guys are picked third in the preseason poll, and I think a big reason as to why is the familiarity, which you mentioned. You guys know the conference, you know what it takes,
right.
You know the level of competition you're going to face every night. By the way, you bring back one of the best players in the league in Jaylee Oglesby.
Absolutely.
For what year is it now? 10, 11?
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
exactly.
well, we're just teasing her, of course. But
yeah.
she's been there for
super senior.
Yeah,
for
right.
sure.
She's been in college athletics for a while. But to your advantage,
Right.
she's still around and she's still got that hook shot working.
Yeah.
How important is it? Obviously, bringing her back, it's really important for your offense, but just kind of as an overall leadership role too, because you have her, and obviously you have a couple of other returning faces. Gentry Baldwin is one that comes
Right.
to mind. But then on the other side, you guys have either new faces, whether they're freshmen or transfers, and you really
Right.
kind of got to get them acclimated. So aside from just a total skill standpoint, what's it like having Jaylee back on that roster, just helping gel everyone together?
I'm extremely excited that Jaylee is back with us. And the thing that she texted me as soon as the whole transition began was, Coach, I'm rocking with you. And she hasn't wavered, So I'm extremely excited that she's here for, me, for our staff, and for ORU. I think also she has a point to prove. She has a little chip on her shoulder that she wants to come out and she wants to make a big statement. She wants to make a big splash. And she's starting, so that's going to be a different look.
Right.
So Jaylee's not very vocal when it comes to leadership. She's very much of just get on my back and we'll ride together. So this has been a different look, but it's a different role for her too. Starting the game, that's just a different look versus sitting for a little bit and then coming in. And so I'm anxious to see how Jaylee is going to pan out too. But I couldn't be more excited, more grateful, more honored that she did stay and she wants to represent our staff and what we're doing here at ORU, but also represent ORU and wear that jersey one last time.
Yeah, I was going to ask too, and I don't know how well you could speak to this as the coach, because this is more of diving into the mind of Jaylee, but that transition from, being the sixth woman of the year multiple times to now a starter. Yeah, you get to feel the game a little bit more coming off the bench, say 3-4 minutes into the game. But,
right.
I mean, she's good enough also to just kind of feel it out from the get-go. Have you noticed any change in her game from that role switch, or has it just been the same old Jaylee?
I mean, Jaylee's consistent. It's been the same old Jaylee. And I think she's honestly going to turn it up just a little bit just because she just has goals of her own and she just wants to prove a point, So, but one thing I love about Jaylee, she does Jaylee and she's going to do that consistently. And as a coach, you couldn't ask for much more than, you're going to get this out of a player every single game, and you can count on that. And that she's going to do that, whether rebounds, because you can't forget that she almost averages a double in her size. That's just almost unbelievable to even think about. So just to know that you can count on that every single day, I think I'm just happy she's here. I'm happy she's going to be a Golden Eagle one more time.
We're here at Waldo's Chicken on 71st and Yale. ORU Coaches Show. Sophie Anderson joining us right now. We're talking some Golden Eagle hoops ahead of their first game on Monday, November 3rd, 11 a.m. against Friends at the Baby Center. Another name you bring back, and I mentioned her earlier, Gentry Baldwin.
Yes.
She kind of seems like the most, at least from an outside perspective, the most fun kind of personality that you guys bring back. And she kind of keeps it light. She's always, laughing about something. But then when it's game time, she kind of flips that switch. I mean,
she does.
What's it like having that personality in your guys' locker room who's, A, just kind of out there and gets everybody involved, and B, again, that familiarity aspect, she knows what it's like at ORU.
Right. One thing I love we call her G. One thing I love about her is that she has always dreamed of being a Golden Eagle. And to be honest, not a lot of people do that. And when you have that dream to do something and you finally get to live it, it's just a different passion and a different love and a different way you walk about it. There's a gratitude that she has at the same time. But I think for Gentry, it's new for her. It is, and yes, I was on staff last year and, her freshman year, but I'm in a different role. She's in a different role, so I'm still happy that she's herself, still bubbly, but she's still trying to figure out who Gentry Baldwin is in an ORU uniform. And that's been beautiful too, to see her go through her ups and downs. But one thing with her, it's been so much growth since July and how much she's grown off the floor, and to see her just kind of settle in into who she is as a woman, that's just going to, translate in parallel to on the court. So I'm excited that she's here. I'm excited that she's a Golden Eagle. She knows the conference and she knows what to expect. But most importantly, she knows me. She knows our staff. She knows what that means to be a Golden Eagle, and she's been along the ride of our success that we've had here at ORU. So she knows the demands for that. So excited for her. Yeah, couldn't be more excited to have Jaylee and Gentry, and I mean, honestly, all of our young ladies with us this year.
Another interesting storyline too is Hannah Coons, one who's Oklahoma native, but in interconference transfer from South Dakota. So she's another, maybe not familiar with the ORU aspect of it, but the Summit League aspect of it for sure. And you bring her in too, and the recruiting pitch, I'm sure, had somewhat to involve her coming back to Oklahoma as well. What was it like kind of getting to know her more throughout that process and getting an inner Summit League player to come play for you?
Well, and I mean, I think timing is everything. And with Hannah, it has been just God's timing, and before it wasn't. And now it is. And she gets to come back home and she gets to play in front of, familiar faces as well. And I'm excited for her. I'm excited that, once again, that she knows the conference. She knows what to expect. She was under a new coaching staff there at South Dakota, but she does know the travel. She knows, what South Dakota State is. She knows the weather, it's just the long season and what it takes to be a winner. But most importantly, she's a coach's kid. So she knows what to do and how to carry herself and how to conduct herself in the locker room and, on the court. So I'm excited about her growth as well. But I mean, she hasn't played in the conference yet. So I'm excited to see what she does too and how she continues to grow. And what I love though, Connor, is they don't know. They don't know who they are. And that's okay. It's okay sometimes just to walk with just a little bit of faith and just go out and play hard and leave it on the floor. And that's what most I'm excited about. They just get to be. They just get to go play basketball. We're going to be prepared, but they just get to go play. And they don't care who South Dakota State is. They'll find out, we'll do our preparation for it, but they put their shoes on just like we do, and they want to just go play basketball. And that's what I love about this group.
It's kind of like that nameless, faceless opponent.
Absolutely. That's exactly it.
To each and every game.
Absolutely.
And it'll be fun to see how this group is, able to come together. And again, there's growing pains throughout each and every single season, especially now when it feels like everybody's fielding a brand new roster each and every single year. So we'll take a quick break here on the ORU Basketball Coach Show. We'll talk schedule after that. There'll be a couple big name opponents in the non-con and, of course, in the conference, as you mentioned, the Jackrabbits, always looming. So we'll talk about that coming up here on the ORU Coaches Show. We're here at 71st and Yale, Waldo's Chicken. Come out and join us. We're here until noon, or you can tap right in here on our Twitter and YouTube pages, as well as ORUathletics.com. So don't go anywhere. ORU Coaches Show rolls on right after this.
Hi, Oklahoma. This is Bill Knight with a very exciting announcement. Introducing the all-new Bill Knight Ford of Bartlesville, proudly joining our Tulsa and Stillwater dealerships. This expansion is part of our Power of Three, with over 1,000 Fords available, 5 mobile service vans, over 200 team members dedicated to serving you, and all backed by the Knight Advantage. So come experience the Power of Three as we welcome the all-new Bill Knight Ford of Bartlesville and BillKnightFordofBartlesville.com, the newest home of the Knight Advantage.
Family owned and operated since 1969, the Don Thornton Automotive Group is driven to make car buying easy and your ownership experience exceptional. Tulsa's choice for performance and luxury. Audi Tulsa, Don Thornton Cadillac, Jaguar Land Rover Tulsa, Don Thornton Volkswagen, and Lexus of Tulsa. Visit any of their dealerships on Memorial in Midtown or online at DonThorntonAuto.com.
Championship teams know the value of preparation and reliability. The heating and cooling experts at KMS bring those same values to your home's comfort. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, we bring dedication, expertise, and caring service to every play.
Let us be a part of your winning strategy. Call 918-834-7000 or swing by kmshvac.com.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor continues with our most successful promotion in decades. Patriot asks, are you upside down in your current vehicle? Meaning you owe more than it's worth. Let Patriot in Pryor get you out of that upside down vehicle with Patriot's exclusive $20,000 negative equity assistance program. Plus, enjoy up to $15,000 off new Ram trucks, Jeep Grand Cherokees, and Dodge Chargers. Get to Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor today. Ram MSRP $81,975.
Basketball season is here, so let racers make sure you're on the ball for entertaining. Make it easy with our ready-to-grill items, like our jalapeno poppers and kebabs. We have fan favorites, like our sandwich trays from the deli, or team-themed cakes and cupcakes in the bakery. Racers, the official grocery store of the ORU Golden Eagles.
We get it. Whether you're building a home, making it your own, or just finally owning a home you can call yours, TFCU makes it easier to buy, build, or remodel with someone beside you. When it's you and TFCU. Home loans from Tinker Federal Credit Union. Apply or schedule an appointment at tinkerfcu.org. An equal housing lender.
It had to be you.
Welcome back to the ORU Basketball Coaches Show here at Waldo's Chicken, 71st and Yale here in South Tulsa. Connor Clark joined by head women's basketball coach Sophie Anderson as we continue our conversation preseason. First game of the year, a week from today, a week from literally about 16 minutes ago. It tips off at 11 a.m. On Monday against Friends at the Mabee Center. So make sure you come out and support. It is the best field trip ever game as well. So be a lot of kids in attendance too.
Yes,
so
it will be.
I hope you're up early and often for that one because it's going to be loud in there.
And bring your earplugs.
Yes,
exactly.
bring your earplugs. So just brace yourself. But it'll be a really good time. It's always good to get all the kids out there as well. So, Coach, I mentioned that we'll talk schedule here because you guys, have a pretty challenging non-con, and we'll start there. And obviously, the summit is, never a cakewalk either. But the stretch kind of in the mid to late stages of November is one that is really going to show you a lot, I think, about your team. And it starts with the Mayor's Cup at home on November 17th. And first of all, it's a plus. So you get the Mayor's Cup at home. You guys won it last year as well on the road. So that's going to be a big one. And then you go on the road to Nebraska and Kansas, two power conference opponents. So that's going to be a huge 3-game stretch. I know you're probably not thinking that far ahead just yet, but when you go about putting together that schedule in the offseason, are there certain things that you look for in that non-conference slate that allows you to test your team and, kind of get them in bigger venues than you probably normally would be in and expose them to that sort of environment?
I mean, you said it right there, just getting tested. We got to get battle tested, see how tough we are, where we are. And that's what we've been talking about in our locker room is we have to worry about us. We have to be the best version of us, no matter who we're playing. And we started that with our scrimmage. And I mean, we're just trying to chip away and get better every single day. But you have to go against some very good opponents if you want to see where you land, because our conference is not easy. So I'm excited to see what this young group, young meaning time on the court, and then young meaning we have quite a few freshmen as well. So see how tough we are. And that's where my question will lie. How tough are you? Because if you're tough, you'll do some things and you'll make up for some errors or some gaps maybe in talent, because you'll work through that. You'll push through that. You'll dive on the floor. Who's going to get the 50-50 ball? So that's where I'm anxious to see how tough are we going to be when we go on the road. And that starts with mentally as well. Not just physically, because this game, the basketball season, is just a mental battle. Everyone's beat up by the time you get to February and March. But at the same time, mentally, how tough are you going to be to step off of a bus, get yourself locked in, ready to play against a Power 4 opponent? And they're going to be well prepped, well prepared. They may be bigger, they may be faster, but what are you going to do besides that?
And you guys also have the Big Sky Summit League Challenge for
another
year. You take on both the Idaho schools. You got to go to Moscow, Idaho, and play the Vandals there, and then you host Idaho State a few days later on that Saturday. Looking back to last year, and you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you went to NAU last year on the road. And,
I think we did, yes.
And that was obviously kind of a tough place to play because I remember talking last year, like, it was a really early start time.
And the altitude,
Yeah,
correct?
the altitude
Yes.
were two really big factors.
Right.
I mean, you guys ended up splitting both of the games in that, but what about that challenge has been helpful, not only for you guys, but obviously for the Big Sky as well? Because it feels like even on the men's side, too, it's just really evenly matched from top to bottom.
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. Our opponents have been very, almost player for player, season for season, record for record, been pretty evenly matched. So it's been a great test for us. But I'm telling you, when we went and hit that altitude about second half, it was like we hit a brick wall and we were just sliding down the wall, But I think those are great games. Once again, battle tested. Can we withstand? How tough are we going to be? Because they are pretty evenly matched. And where are you? Where are you on the court? Where are you mentally? And what are some things which we got to keep the big picture. We got to learn and grow from these things. We're going to make mistakes, and we may lose a few, and I hate to say that no coach wants to lose, but at the same time, what are we learning from those losses? What are we learning from those wins? We don't want to get too high and we don't want to get too low. I'm trying to keep them as evenly, on the playing field, like mentally as possible, because we have to get better each and every game.
And just a quick Google search too. 7,000 feet of elevation in Flagstaff. I mean, I thought
it was
Denver
crazy.
was as high as it got. But
no, it was crazy. It was wild.
That makes me tired.
And it wasn't really the first half. It was really the second half when we went in and we sat down.
Interesting.
Yeah, at halftime. So when we came back out, we were like running in mud. It was wild. It was wild.
It was all that adrenaline just finally,
just
went by the wayside.
Down.
I was like, oh boy, now
it was crazy.
So luckily no trip to Flagstaff this year.
Right.
So you get to avoid that. So again, that's just kind of exhausting thinking about that.
For sure.
But now going through the Summit League again, and you guys obviously had a ton of success against the league last year, and as I mentioned before, picked third this go around. Just kind of a broad overview of what that conference is going to look like this year on the women's side. I mean, you have your Jackrabbits, you have your Bison, who are usually in the mix. I know they were in the mix last year. You have you guys who are always in the mix. And that top three is really fascinating, too, about, you kind of just beat each other up at the top, it almost feels like. How do you go about weathering that storm, for lack of a better term, with all that tough competition at the top?
Well, to be honest, my hat goes off to South Dakota State and North Dakota State. Man, what two awesome coaches. They really, really are. They have their teams prepared every single game against every opponent, But I think the crazy thing this year is there's a lot of unknown, We pretty much know South Dakota State, they're pretty solid and they're going to do what they do. But South Dakota State without Paige.
Right.
What is that going to look like, And then North Dakota State, they're always solid. Once again, another great coach, but now he's added a point guard, which is very similar to Heaven, which was about 2 years ago, which adds a different wrinkle. So I think the North Dakota point guard went to North Dakota State, which she's a great point guard. So now that's going to be a different dimension they haven't had the last year or so. So anxious to see how that's all going to play out. But then from us, everyone knows we're running dribble drive, but they don't know what does dribble drive look like now. Who are the new, additions they've had to the roster and things like that. But then from there, what does everyone look like? We got new coaches in the conference. We have new teams in the conference. Rosters have been flipped and turned over. So, I think honestly, we're going to have to prepare. And like I said, told you earlier, it's against us. We have to come out and be us because we don't know. There's so much unknown in our conference. But one thing we do know, there are some great coaches in this conference. And everybody's going to be well prepared. Everyone's going to be up for the challenge every single game. And to be picked third, I'm just mind blown, extremely grateful. Hats out, off to our staff and what they've done to make sure that we are prepared for this. But it's just going to be wild. So much unknown, which is exciting.
It is exciting, and it just kind of storyline after storyline after storyline when you go down the conference. And we'll get you out of here after this, but just kind of the overall style that you guys want to play with. Obviously, last year with Coach Music, really fast, really up and down, score a lot of points. And I know you want to carry some of that over to this year's group, but put your own little spin on it as well.
Correct. Yeah. Dribble drive. I mean, one, I'm going to say that's all I know, meaning we've done it at Southwestern Oklahoma State, then we did it when we came here, and what a beautiful offense, because it is fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to coach. It's fun to watch your players kind of grow within the system and flourish. But it's just fast paced for the women's game, and I think honestly that's where the game is kind of turning into, just a more fast paced, just fast offense. But one thing differently, I know for sure we're gonna plan to do is just, can we be disciplined within the offense? Can you take advantage on multiple attacks of what the defense making a mistake? Knowing why you're doing things, why you're attacking, why you are going that way. And, just trying to make sure that we fine tune and really focus in on the details. But we do want to keep the pace up just because it's just fun to watch. It's fun to be a part of. And like Coach Music said, like everybody, no one wants to see a boring women's basketball game, so getting to 95 points, everybody's like, whoa, that's fun. That was exciting. That's great to be a part of. So yeah, we want to keep that up. But at the same time, our pace is going to be very important. Our pace within the shell and our discipline and our attention to detail within the shell will be the only difference, I guess you could say, to the offense. But I mean, man, what a beautiful offense. And I'm excited for our girls to see them continue to grow within it.
It certainly was fun to watch last year too. I know you guys had, a handful of just games that either A, went down to the wire, or B, when things were just clicking on all cylinders, whether that was at home, in Sioux Falls, on the road. So really looking to see how your squad kind of comes together this year, and hopefully it'll be another really fun season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm super excited. We came out our first quarter, scored 35 points. I was like, holy moly, like this team is on fire. But that's what you want. You want that to be fun. You want it to be exciting. And like you said, what an awesome year and opportunity we all have.
Also a good confidence booster probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
For that group as
for
well.
Sure.
But Coach, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. And
thanks for having me.
We'll be talking a bunch as the season rolls on. So it should be a really, really fun year. Well, that's head coach Sophie Anderson. My name's Connor Clark. And we'll take one more quick break. And then on the other side, we will talk with the men's head coach, Kory Barnett, for the first time on the ORU Basketball Coaches Show. So we'll be back after this right here at Waldo's on 71st and Yale on the ORU Sports Network and on 99.9 FM ESPN as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back in just a couple of short moments with head coach Barnett right here on the ORU Basketball Coaches Show.
Hi, Oklahoma. This is Bill Knight with a very exciting announcement. Introducing the all-new Bill Knight Ford of Bartlesville, proudly joining our Tulsa and Stillwater dealerships. This expansion is part of our Power of Three, with over 1,000 Fords available, 5 mobile service vans, over 200 team members dedicated to serving you, and all backed by the Knight Advantage. So come experience the Power of Three as we welcome the all-new Bill Knight Ford of Bartlesville and BillKnightFordofBartlesville.com, the newest home of the Knight Advantage.
Family owned and operated since 1969, the Don Thornton Automotive Group is driven to make car buying easy and your ownership experience exceptional. Tulsa's choice for performance and luxury. Audi Tulsa, Don Thornton Cadillac, Jaguar Land Rover Tulsa, Don Thornton Volkswagen, and Lexus of Tulsa. Visit any of their dealerships on Memorial in Midtown or online at DonThorntonAuto.com.
Championship teams know the value of preparation and reliability. The heating and cooling experts at KMS bring those same values to your home's comfort. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, we bring dedication, expertise, and caring service to every play.
Let us be a part of your winning strategy. Call 918-834-7000 or swing by kmshvac.com.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor continues with our most successful promotion in decades. Patriot asks, are you upside down in your current vehicle? Meaning you owe more than it's worth. Let Patriot in Pryor get you out of that upside down vehicle with Patriot's exclusive $20,000 negative equity assistance program. Plus, enjoy up to $15,000 off new Ram trucks, Jeep Grand Cherokees, and Dodge Chargers. Get to Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor today. Ram MSRP $81,975.
Basketball season is here, so let racers make sure you're on the ball for entertaining. Make it easy with our ready-to-grill items, like our jalapeno poppers and kebabs. We have fan favorites, like our sandwich trays from the deli, or team-themed cakes and cupcakes in the bakery. Reese's, the official grocery store of the ORU Golden Eagles.
We get it. Whether you're building a home, making it your own, or just finally owning a home you can call yours, TFCU makes it easier to buy, build, or remodel with someone beside you. When it's you and TFCU. Home loans from Tinker Federal Credit Union. Apply or schedule an appointment at tinkerfcu.org. An equal housing lender.
It had to be you.
Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor continues with our most successful promotion in decades. Patriot asks, are you upside down in your current vehicle? Meaning you owe more than it's worth. Let Patriot in Pryor get you out of that upside down vehicle with Patriot's exclusive $20,000 negative equity assistance program. Plus, enjoy up to $15,000 off new Ram trucks, Jeep Grand Cherokees, and Dodge Chargers. Get to Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pryor today. Ram.
This is the ORU Basketball Coaches Show, powered by Playfly. Hear from head coaches Kory Barnett and Sophie Anderson every week to get an inside scoop and perspective of Golden Eagle hoops. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Golden Eagles, Connor Clark.
Welcome back here to Waldo's Chicken on 71st and Yale ORU Basketball Coaches Show. Coming at you here on the ORU Sports Network. Connor Clark now joined by the head men's basketball coach in his first season, Kory Barnett. Coach, thanks so much for making the time for us today. Appreciate it. Glad to have you on and talk a lot of hoops here. So
yeah.
I'm going to start this interview off the same way I started off Sophie's interview. It's going to be non-basketball right now.
Okay.
What was the favorite non-basketball activity you did over the off season?
Over the off season, I always take my family, and it's my oldest. We started a tradition, but we're trying to see every MLB baseball park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, prior to them going to college. So we went down to the Rangers, and then we went and caught a couple Cubs games at Wrigley Field.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah, that's by far spending time with them is the best.
Well, I know you're a Cubs guy through and through. So am I.
No doubt.
So obviously Wrigley is at the top of the list. Aside from Wrigley,
Yes.
What is the best one you've been to?
Fenway's pretty special. Honestly, the most fun I've had is I took Brooks, my oldest, when he was 4 or 5 to San Diego, and Petco Park's a really cool spot for kids. It's just they did a really awesome job. And then obviously the Cubs beat him in the first round, so that made it even sweeter. So yeah,
that does make it. I will say Petco is definitely on the short list
Big time.
to go to. That I've never been to Fenway, which
Fenway's special.
I need to cross that.
Very
off the
similar
list.
to Wrigley, like in the middle of a city, like
Right.
it has that vibe. Like, yeah, obviously, if you've seen the town, it gives you a pretty good feel for it. So
I've never even been to Boston. Can we schedule something in Boston in the next couple of years?
No.
Let's make that. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that consideration. But we'll move on here. So obviously a lot coming up here for you guys. First game is a week from tomorrow at Oklahoma State. And we'll get to previewing that. We'll also talk about your exhibition game that you had last Friday night. But let's just kind of dive into, the roster, the coaching staff, because it's essentially all brand new. Obviously, Luke Gray is back and Chase Martin is back. Really good to see him get minutes in that exhibition because even though I've been here for a year, I've really never seen him play because he redshirted last year.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool experience. But we'll start with the roster. I mean, you guys bring in 12 new guys. You have some international flavor with Ofri and Udo and Martins too, and it was good to see them get quality minutes the other night as well. But just kind of from an overview perspective from the head coach, I mean, what can you say about this roster that you guys have constructed here in year one, and what do you like about it?
Yeah, I would say overall we have a really special group across the board. Ty Harper has been in multiple spots. I've followed him, recruited him since he was young. He's a really, really talented combo guard who's going to play a lot of point for us. Alex Kudo is somebody who came that Kory recruited at Huntington that has a great future. He'll give us a lot of time in terms of practice and helping our guys get better. Cal Furnish has been above and beyond what I could have expected out of a freshman. Just brings it every single day, tries to do every possible thing we tell him to do. Is very, very coachable, and I think has an elite point guard skill to be able to come off ball screens and make reads. Jack Turner is somebody that I've recruited for quite some time. Recruited him out of high school, lost him to Loyola Chicago when we were recruiting Nevada, and obviously this time around was more successful. And love him, love what he brings, his energy, his toughness, his tenacity. I think his playmaking ability, his shot creation, all those things will help elevate us in a real way. Lane Sparks came with Kory from Huntington, Alford, and he just he's exactly what his name says. He's a spark plug, and he does an incredible job both offensively and defensively. Just plays way too hard. I mean, I think he hurts the floor more than the floor hurts him with how hard he plays. He's constantly diving and moving, and so he's got an incredibly bright season ahead. Layman McGrady will do incredible things for us in practice. Has a great just teammate mindset about him. It's awesome with our guys. Obviously, he comes from a very unbelievable basketball family. Has a great feel for the game. Shoots it really well. Just needs time in the weight room to be able to grow and get stronger. Love Connor Dow. I'm glad he had the game he had. He's had an incredible offseason. I'm glad that it showed up when the lights turned on, and he just plays with an unbelievable motor and toughness and edge, and can obviously really shoot the ball, but he does so much else, and his gravity is going to really change what we can do offensively this year. Chase Martin, I adore. He's just a jinx linebacker put in a basketball jersey. I mean, he just plays so hard. He dives on the floor. He does every toughness thing. He uses everything that he can with his feel and his passing ability, hunting pockets and then creating for others. And he does everything that we asked him to do and just brings a different toughness and edge to us. And his defensive versatility is going to be massive for us this season. So I'm excited to see him grow into that role. Martins Killips has been awesome. He shot it really well in the offseason. I'm glad to see him get a couple shots up when he got his minutes. Another guy who's just tough and knows what it looks like to play hard and play hard consistently and do the extra effort things that will lead to winning. So I'm incredibly proud of what he did in the exhibition. Luke Gray, I know everybody knows and loves. He had a great offseason. I think he's on the cusp of doing some really special things if he can just keep locked into the mindset that he needs to be locked into, and he's had incredible practice. I just received a text from him 20 minutes ago asking, hey coach, when can we watch film next? And that's been his mindset consistently. It just, what can I do to improve? What can I do to get better? And just has an unbelievable heart for others and does a great job in our locker room. Ofri Neve obviously came with me from West Virginia. Incredibly biased when it comes to him, but I think he's one of the more special players in the country. Just the way that he connects our group and communicates and talks and how tough he is and his defensive versatility. And I think he's got an incredibly bright future ahead of him. And he's going to help our team in a ton of different ways this year. Aaron Jacobs, D2 kid that transferred in, has done an incredible job, can really shoot the ball, great athlete. Still catching up to some of the defensive things that he needs to figure out. But he's done a great job and has a toughness level to him and just needs to keep doing it consistently. And I think he can help us. And last two guys are Udo. Obviously, Udo is somebody who is 6'10", 6'11", can shoot the ball, can score inside, can score in pockets, can rebound. He's going to be huge for us this year. And we need him to keep locking his eyes in on the right things. And when he does, man, he's just a beast and he's really hard to guard and he can really protect that rim with his length and athleticism. And then Barron is somebody that I adore. He's an unbelievable kid, comes in every single day with such a smile and a mindset, and he just lights up every practice. And he just knows how to screen. He knows how to roll. He knows how to rebound. He knows how to be physical. And he's going to give everything he has every single possession. So excited to see what he can do this year as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen Barrett Smith frown before. I don't think that kid's ever had a bad day in his life.
No, he is not. He's constantly smiling. And I don't know if it's just because that's his mental makeup or if it's just because he can't really see what's going on because his hair is over his eyes the majority of the time. So, but yeah, he's always smiling.
Yeah, a relationship I want to dive deeper into, and you mentioned it a little bit, you and Ofri coming over from West Virginia. Yeah. And he's a kid from, halfway across the world. He comes to West Virginia to play. Obviously, culturally, a lot of things are different in the United States.
No doubt.
That's, the simple things of, food or, the time change with, him and his family being essentially 12 hours apart on the clock.
Right.
So what has that relationship been like with you two having 1 year together at West Virginia and then, him trusting you enough to come follow you here at ORU?
Really special. Obviously, he was there the year prior to me getting there. So when the thing went down with Coach Huggins and that job change, he came in just post that and had a great year there. Obviously, as a freshman, had his bumps and bruises, especially in the Big 12. It takes time to adjust from the FIBA game to college basketball in general, but to do it at West Virginia in the Big 12 is a whole different deal. And I thought for his transition, he had a great year there. And then for us, just decided to redshirt last year, which I thought was great for him in his career. And there's different types of redshirts. There's guys that do it and just kind of hang around the program and just kind of do what they're asked. And then there's guys who do it and they use it to get better. And he was incredible, elite, did everything on scout team. And I really loved his game, and I saw a lot out of him in different situations, but being able to see him on the scout team and work with him on the scout team. I mean, there were a few times where we were very detailed in their scouts. I'd be going through certain things and there would be weeks in between, and Ofer would bring up, yeah, but remember this, the last time we played BYU, they ran this baseline out of bounds. Shouldn't we do it this way with this guy in this spot? And like, he's an unbelievable mind for basketball. And him and I just bonded over that. We love talking hoops. We love being around each other. He's an unbelievable with both my kids, and he just has an incredible heart for people. And I'm really, really proud of him. I'm glad that he's here with us. I think he's not only going to help our team on the court with his toughness and his versatility and his energy and his passion for the game, but I think he changes our locker room with who he is every single day, with how he coaches teammates, with how invested he is. And this means a lot to him, not only for now, but his future. But like, he doesn't take a single day for granted, and he owns every single one and gives everything he possibly have. And that's been a joy to be around and to be able to coach.
Yeah, he seems like a huge vocal leader for you guys right now
Massive.
as well. I mean, he's always talking, whether that's practice or even at some points of that exhibition game the other night too. I mean, he was pulling guys aside, or when they did something good, I mean, he was the first guy there to hype them up and all that other stuff.
Incredible. So when he gets too sped up and competitive, you can't really understand what he's saying, but it's good stuff. Just, you have to get to it later.
Oh, I know we talked pregame. As soon as I saw him drinking the Monster right next to the scores table, he was out there while the women were still practicing in full uniform, ready to go. So you could tell he was nothing short of dialed in.
No doubt.
Another relationship on this team that I want to get into is with you and Kory Alford on the coaching staff. Now, you guys have been connected career-wise for quite a while, and you both have ties to Indiana, of course, with Kory's dad, Steve, and you guys have been together at Nevada and at UCLA, and now you rekindle that here at ORU. And obviously, Coach Alford was doing phenomenal things at Huntington. I mean, they were an absolute power in the NAIA ranks, but you bring him here. How important has that been for your offense, especially too, because it seems like he's just a wizard with the playbook, and then obviously you guys just being great friends, it certainly helps out as well.
I mean, it's not only incredible for all the things you just mentioned, but he also is he's been a head coach. He's been in this seat. He knows what it looks like. He knows what he was frustrated with. He's able to kind of help some of the other assistants in terms of, hey, maybe this is better to approach this way, or say this way, or do this way. And he's an extension of me in every single form or facet. Like, I lean in and trust his expertise and his gut quite a bit. He's very, very analytical. We both are, him even more so than me, but he still doesn't allow the numbers to get too noisy. He trusts his gut a lot, and not only in basketball senses, but also in relationships and connections and how to communicate and what buttons to push at the right times. And it's a blessing. And then obviously to live in the same neighborhood, for our kids to be able to grow up to each other, it's a nothing short of just a miracle from God. And it's just something that we had always talked about, and pie in the sky, man, if we could ever get this opportunity. And now we have it, and we're incredibly passionate about what we do, and we're excited, and it gives us an extra edge to be able to not only compete and do all that we do, but to do it for each other and do it with a group that I love, that I want to go to battle with every single day. And it's just I never get in my car to head to work and feel anything else but joy and excitement to be able to be with those guys every single day.
A guy that he brought over from Huntington, you mentioned him, Lane Sparks, and I vividly remember the first day I walked into the first practice over the summer. I walked in, and obviously I had seen some video of Lane playing and some pictures of him, and I walk in, and I mean, he's like twice as big as I thought he was going to be.
Massive.
I mean, he is. I mean, you mentioned that, Chase Martin's a linebacker in a basketball uniform. Lane Sparks is a linebacker in a basketball uniform.
He is. They
you
both
guys
are.
can put together a pretty good 11 on that roster.
We could.
But what can you say about him? Obviously, NAIA All-American second team last year, averaged nearly 23 a game. He's a lefty, which, you kind of don't see too much, especially in the backcourt. And as you mentioned, he lives up to his name. He is a
No, he
spark
does.
plug for your group. I mean, how important is it to have him? And I know it's his first year at D1, but he's still a really experienced player being a grad student.
No, Sparky's incredible. I mean, he brings it on both ends of the floor, and every single day in practice, his passion, his energy level, and he's got an unbelievable toughness. And him and Chase are probably the two closest on the team, and it fits because they both play the same way. They both are just how hard they play consistently is at the exact same level. And he jokes around that he's Oklahoma. He was born in Indiana, but he's become somebody who's from Oklahoma because he spent so much time with Chase. But he's can obviously score in a bunch of different ways. He's very physical. He can shoot the basketball. He gets downhill. He's known nothing in his life other than just being an absolute bucket, knowing how to score and put it in the hole. But I think what I've been more impressed with is he had to do so much offensively at Huntington. He didn't always get to show his defensive just toughness and how smart he is in different situations. But more than anything, he fixes any mistake he makes by how hard he plays. And you didn't always get to see that because he had so much that he had to do on the offensive end. Now having some different teammates who are a different level and more talented offensively, he can really focus in on being a elite two-way player. And I've been incredibly impressed with him. Obviously, he missed our close scrimmage against Abilene Christian with a toe injury, and then was just coming back prior to our exhibition. So I still think we have seen exactly who he can be, and I think he's just going to grow into a really, really great and fun role as we move forward in this year.
Yeah, I mean, the load kind of gets taken off of him offensively when you have guys such as, you mentioned Udo, a guy who could shoot it, who can also play the 5, and you have a guy from Broken Arrow and Connor Dow who is, going to play against his former school to open up the year, which is pretty poetic in my opinion.
Be nice.
But, great shooter, obviously brings good size, knows the area, and it seems like, he can be a guy that you can kind of run your offense through at times as well.
Yeah, we have. In my opinion, especially, we have two big-time ball handling playmakers in Ty Harper and Jack Turner, and there's others, but those two can really go get a bucket while also creating for others. And then we have obviously an elite off-ball scorer, and not that Connor can't do it on ball. He can. He's shown that and done a really good job all offseason. But his gravity off the ball is ridiculous. And within our flow offense and what we run, we really want to utilize that and make sure that he is ultra aggressive and hunting his shot, but not even only to take them, but hunting them to make the defense commit to him at a high level. And now he can use his great feel and basketball IQ to create for others and allow that to be able to use towards paint cuts and coming off screens and letting threes go and then attacking downhill. He had obviously 6 for 10 from 3. Like can really shoot the 3-pointer, but that's going to also open up a lot of stuff around the rim because of how teams have to overreact to take him off that line. And when we're playing it the right way and we're clicking, that ball's moving and we're unselfish, not only is he going to be hard to guard, but our offense can go to a whole different level when we lean in and commit to that.
You keep mentioning the name Ty Harper, and I think all offseason I've been trying to mentally put together what I'm going to say when he inevitably puts somebody on a poster this year, because it will happen. And if you haven't gone and looked up Ty Harper's highlight reel, I highly suggest you do so. It is electric. But he's a guy who, again, an older guy, grad student, freaky athletic. Absolute freak of an athlete. And you mentioned he's a guy who can also go get you a bucket at times too, not only in the dunking fashion, but he can shoot it a little bit too. What kind of role has he produced, not only for your guys' offense, but just kind of for a group collectively too? Because he kind of has that calm demeanor, but he also brings a swagger to him as well to this group.
He does. He does an incredible job. Obviously, I knew Ty probably 5 or 6 years ago when he was in high school and saw him, and then he kind of bounced around a couple of different spots and didn't really find his most comfortable spot until he went to Masters and he played for TJ Leaf, who we coached at UCLA's brother, Troy. And so that's kind of how we made the connection in the recruitment. And he turned down a lot of really, really good opportunities to come here because he believed in what we were building. He loved ORU and his face important to him. So he's a special individual. But he's, as a player, man, he just changes us and he can really go get you one. He probably had 4 or 5 last-second shots throughout practice. We do a lot of special situations and late-game stuff, and he just has a feel of how to put the ball in the hole. And there's a lot of things that he does that he just can't teach. We've been trying to get him adapted to a lot of our flow stuff because I think he's played in a bunch of different systems. So it's been he's really bought in and leaned into that, and especially there's clips from our Abilene Christian and our in our exhibition where he's just hunting, screening for other guys and creating opportunities, and similar like a Steph Curry type fashion in terms of the better screener you are, the more open you're going to get. And he's really learned that while he's been here. And I think that's just going to keep unlocking his game because he can score like crazy. He can pass. I think he's one of the more electric athletes that'll be in our league. But now utilizing that with adding in how he screens and how he cuts and finding his spots, I think the sky is the limit for Ty.
And then another guy, obviously the big returner in Luke Gray, who showed sparks of what he can be as a true freshman and a guy that you inherit on this roster. And you mentioned the offseason that he's had. And, I mean, watching him throughout practice, it seems like he's, gaining confidence just being on the floor overall. I mean, we all know what type of athlete he is as well. And then, B, his jumper looks to have gone, miles up from where it was a season ago. A guy who had his looks at three, didn't necessarily convert at the highest level in game, but it seems like that's something he's really worked on over the offseason.
No, 100%. I mean, we go into Abilene Christian, and they put their 5 on him and their 4 on Udo because I don't think they honored Luke's 3, and then he buries a couple, and that changes the whole game. And I think more teams are going to be learning that as we move forward. And he can really, really shoot the basketball, and he just needs to do it with confidence. But his biggest thing is he's a beast, and I think he can go inside and dominate the paint and be somebody who's physical and can rebound. And I think probably him and Udo, but him especially, he's really good at punishing mismatches, which is huge for him. And it's been a lot of our conversations because teams are going to switch him to take away his 3-pointer once he hits it at a high clip, and then once they start switching him, being able to punish them inside because of that is going to be massive for him, whether that be through a post touch or just on the glass. And he's really bought into that and done it at a really, really high level. And now it's just keep adjusting to the defensive end and the physicality it takes and the discipline it takes. And he's not going to be all become 7 foot overnight in terms of protecting the paint, but he can be really disciplined in his verticalities and his wall ups and his communication. And he's grown in all those areas. And he's somebody that has been at ORU. He's been through this league. He knows what it looks like. So we're going to lean into that time that he got last year, both him and Chase, just to help our guys navigate a brand new league for not only them, but our staff outside of Coach Upshaw. So he's been awesome. I love his mindset. I love how much he's wanting to learn and grow and lean into what it takes, and incredibly proud of what he's done thus far.
Now, from your perspective, being new to the league, I mean, how much did you know about the Summit League last year? I know you were in the Big 12, so
right.
You had some bigger things on your plate.
There were a few things, yeah.
AKA Houston.
Yeah.
But you look at the league top to bottom this year, and at least from a media perspective, it feels like Omaha and St. Thomas are going to be the two teams to beat. And they both had incredible years last year. But just your assessment of the league from, top to bottom of coming into it as a first-year head coach and first time in the Summit, and what kind of things just kind of stick out to you from a basketball perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I diving into it, obviously, we've played against the league quite a bit. We actually played against North Dakota State 2021, right as COVID hit, in Nebraska. I think it was my man who went to Alabama. Grant Nelson's first game in college was us at Nevada. And then we played South Dakota State with one of their best teams in South Dakota and actually got beat, unfortunately. But both those coaches did an incredible job. I was incredibly happy to see the South Dakota State coach leave the league, and he's an incredible coach. But I know his assistant took over, and he does a really good job as well. So it's a very well-coached league. Obviously, it gets a lot of hype for its offense. There's just talented players across the board, guys who can shoot it and skilled and have feel. And so my entire focus a lot of this offseason is obviously I think we're going to have a chance to become a very elite offensive team. Kory does a great job. Coach Isaac Green does a great job. Our entire staff does. And we recruited that way because we knew that's the way you win in this league. But trying to figure out a way where we can be have a versatility to us defensively is going to be paramount because I think the teams that separate themselves are the teams that can do it on both ends, like Omaha did last year, and like some of the other teams had done prior. And when Oral Roberts was great, and they were rolling in this league, they were very, very good on that defensive end to combine it with the offensive end. So I think there's going to be a lot of really good tests and a lot of tough road trips and a lot of making sure we keep cleaning up and learning as we go. But from what our staff has seen, we're really excited to be able to get into the league and compete against a lot of elite coaches and elite rosters.
Yeah, that's a big storyline, too, heading into the Summit League. No more Eric Henderson at South Dakota State, as you mentioned. He took the job at Drake. I think he was a league favorite, just like personality-wise.
Yeah,
I think
awesome.
everybody loved and respect him, and
great guy.
It's great to see him move on for competition's sake.
Agreed.
Into a different league.
Yeah.
So that's always good. Well, we only got a few minutes left here, so I'm gonna give you a couple rapid fire things here that are a little bit more fun. I know we talked about in our 94 feet interview, your favorite basketball moment is Christian Wofford.
The watch shot.
Other than that, what sticks out?
I mean, obviously, you point to a lot of the time the Sweet 16s. I mean, I was insanely blessed to go to, I think, 5 out of 6. And from my time in Indiana, overflowing to UCLA, so there was a lot of really cool moments. The Lonzo Ball hit a few insane shots, going in and winning at Kentucky, hitting the shot he hit against Oregon, who ended up going to the national championship that year. There were a lot of different moments. It's hard to point to one. What shot stands out? I mean, when one shot wins an ESPY, it kind of makes it easy to be able to point to that. But over my coaching career, it's been a lot of fun going into Kansas last year and being the only West Virginia team to ever win in Allen Fieldhouse. And we went at Gonzaga at UCLA and got a win. So there's a lot of moments and a lot of cool memories with a lot of special individuals, not only on staff, but a lot of the former players that I've had the blessing to coach. So this journey's been amazing. Guys taking me to a lot of really cool places, and it's hard to be able to narrow it down to just one.
Yeah, you got to know that the watch shot is good when even my friend group still quotes like Dickie V from that call. So
There's no doubt.
It's pretty awesome. So kind of piggybacking off of that, I know you played at Assembly Hall, so another really tough one to beat. But best arena that you've been able to either play or coach in?
Other than Assembly Hall, I'll say that because I'm biased on that one. That I played or coached in. I have Michigan State's pretty incredible. They have the iZone literally in the band is next to your bench and the iZone surrounding you. It's pretty insane. Allen Fieldhouse is special. That was my second time to be able to coach in there, and that's a really, really unique and special place. The Pac-12 didn't really have it. Like Arizona was good, but it wasn't to either of those two levels. We had a couple good battles at Oregon, but neither of those two. I would say those kind of stand out.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, hard to beat Assembly Hall, hard to beat Fog Allen.
It is.
Speaking of Indiana, what the heck is going on with Indiana football?
Sig. Kurt Cignati knows how to coach ball. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, clearly.
I
mean, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that guy because it's amazing to see what he's doing with Indiana. But then a guy who looks at my own alma mater and be like, well, we can't figure it out for a decade.
No, I know.
And Sig just walks in. And, I mean, Indiana's a national championship favorite right now.
It's pretty insane what he has done there. And he just does it. He does it in a way where it's just he empowers a lot of his staff. He's very locked into bringing in the guys that fit him and know who want to be coached the right way. And to do it in Indiana, I mean, and I don't want to take away from anybody who's been there, but it just historically has not been and it's hard. It's a hard job because you're competing against – I mean, if you have a great player in Indiana, you think, well, he should stay home. Okay, well, Michigan's going to come in and take him. Ohio State's going to come in and take him. Like, it's a hard place to be, but he hit it at the right time. He's done an amazing job. He's got an unbelievable mentality about him, and they're fun to watch.
And then final thing, just on our schedule here, game you're most looking forward to that sticks out to you?
Game I'm most looking forward to. I think it's hard to narrow it down to one. I think being able to play in the Oral Roberts Tulsa game will be a lot of fun. I think going at TCU to play one of my best friends in coaching, Dwayne Broussard, who's on their staff there, will be a blessing. I go back to Missouri State where Kory grew up and Steve went to his Sweet 16. It'll be a really, really cool deal. And then obviously playing the in-states with Oklahoma State and Oklahoma are both really good opportunities just to go down there and get that experience and go compete like crazy. So there's a lot on the schedule. I think once we get into league play, every single one of them is going to be a knockdown, drag out, and every one of them will be our Super Bowl, and our focus will be on trying to win the next one, go 1-0.
Well, make sure you got your jackets because North Dakota is not pleasant.
I've heard it's a little cold. Yeah.
I believe the temperature when we got to the hotel in Fargo last year was -22.
Okay.
So
yeah, that'll hurt.
We had multiple graduate assistants from Tucson, Arizona, so I was giving them a hard time.
Yeah, the Pac-12 outside of maybe Washington State, they don't have that. But I've been through the Big Ten, Minnesota and Wisconsin.
It'll balance out because the Florida trip in the heart of November.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I'll fought hard for that one.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. So that'll kind of even things out. Well,
try.
Coach, thanks so much for the time today. Appreciate it as always. We'll be here almost every Monday. Schedule printing. We'll be back on November the 10th because Women play at 11 a.m. next Monday, so we'll be preoccupied with them.
Yeah.
But, we'll be doing this throughout the season, but I appreciate the time, and let's go have a good winter.
I'm excited, brother. Let's do it.
It should be awesome. Well, that's head coach Kory Barnett. My name's Connor Clark. This has been the ORU Coaches Show. Big thanks to Waldo's here at 71st and Yale for having us out each and every single Coaches Show. Be sure to come out, check them out, and check us out when we're back here on November 10th. Once again, 11 a.m. to noon. We'll chat with both head coaches yet again, and we'll have a couple of games to talk about that time around as well. So thanks so much to everybody for helping us out with this, tuning in, and giving us a piece of your time here on a gloomy Monday here in Tulsa. So we'll talk to you again in a couple of Mondays. But this has been the ORU Coaches Show right here on the ORU Sports Network.